Sup podcast.
Random.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
This is going to be a fun one.
I'm excited about
one of my
this
favorite Austin subcultures.
Yes.
Is the CBD culture. We're going to reference
CBD.
this as
That's right.
Willie Nelson's culture.
Yeah,
the Willie
the Willie-
Nelson
the
culture.
Willie-
Town.
Yeah.
Kids, if you're watching this, Dad does CBD. Cosmic Cowboy here on SoCo, not far from here, and
Okay.
I live down south, just here off of South Congress. And so anytime I have any questions about this CBD subculture that we have, the Willie Nelson culture, these folks are a tremendous help to me.
As much as we can.
As much as they can be legally.
Yeah.
There's other people that...
It's called word magic.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Right.
And every time I've been in there, they've talked about local glass blowers. And I guess there's this whole big scene.
It's huge. It's huge in Austin. The kind of start of it was graphics water pipes. Years ago, it had a little jester with a hat on it. I mean, it was super old school, but they were huge. One of the beginning water pipe companies, they were in Austin, and a lot of people came out of that. And some of those people were the sparks that kind of set it aflame. And a lot of other different like studios popped up. St. Elmo's with Salt or Lucan, who is like one of the biggest names in the industry, or has been at different times. He was there. J-Mass used to work there as well. A large amount of people that did the J-Mass right here is he was one of the guys that worked there. It was awesome. It was a huge
So it's
facility.
like a big breeding ground.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And I mean, they had 10 or so torches and guys working on it all the time across the clock. That closed down, and some have moved away. Grav Labs, awesome company. We don't carry them, unfortunately, because they are China-made. It's a whole thing. We support the American-made glass because these are the guys that started the industry. They are the ones that pushed it. They're the ones that got it to where it is today. They've invented half the stuff that we're using. They're all quitting because they can't make a living because China's beating them. Wow. So giving money to them feels good. It keeps everything innovating. It keeps the artistry coming, and it's not just stamped out stuff, even though, we have that too. It's just American-made.
Right.
Proto, we call it. Production pieces.
Yeah.
Folks, pay attention to what you're buying.
Right. For sure.
Like, I mean, these are like you said, these are the people that invented the industry, and now they have to get out of it.
They're cooking or welding.
Wow.
They're good with heat.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
you might want to clarify that term.
Yeah, right. Well, on this episode, cooking means food, right?
Oh, yes,
Okay,
cooking
good.
food.
Yes, okay.
Gotcha.
Good. Okay.
The good in the kitchen.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
So,
Yeah.
these guys have pioneered this industry, and yet we're going, well, I can save $10.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy this, and maybe it's more. Don't get me wrong, but it at the end of the day, pay attention to what you're buying.
Mm-hmm.
You vote with your dollar.
Exactly.
That's right.
You
Exactly.
Make changes with it too.
And so one of the things, you guys, how many local, and maybe you don't know this off the top of your head, but maybe you can guesstimate, how many local pipe companies do you guys carry in your store?
So there's companies. They usually do more proto, and then there's just artists. I mean, and sometimes these guys come in with receipt books. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't remember their. It's great. It's I mean, they're artists at the core. They sit at home and over a flame. They don't talk to people for 12 hours. They just sit and
Is that how the process works? Like, for this piece, for example, I mean, would they take one?
Depending on the,
It's not one
how much
blow. I'm assuming
no.
they would just go, and then they have this
it's
magic.
50 blown. No,
Okay.
it's not even double blown. It's like
Yeah.
way over that. But it's I would assume maybe at least a day.
Okay.
At least a day, if not more than that, depending on how much the glass fought him. Some colors are different. There's so many things to
Interesting.
learn. It's
Yeah.
a terrifying thing to do. Thought it'd be fun. Bunch of hippies do it. Could
Yeah.
be awesome. Flames, sharp glass. It's not something you take your CBDs before you do. A lot of people
Right.
do.
Oh,
not at first.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, for sure.
So a piece like this, I think you alluded to who the artist is, but or you mentioned it in passing.
J-Mass. J-Mass is a local artist. He's got a couple signature different designs. He's done some cool voluptuous ladies in the past. He lately has been on these Sherlock pieces where he'll put a Sherlock on the rig. I mean, there's different ways to market yourself. There's different ways to catch a niche or just he's the guy that does this, and then people get obsessed. It's really weird industry, the way it fluctuates, and it's fast right now. But this is a recycler, which was also a really popular design for the actual like function of the piece. It's a double chamber. The water is basically pulled up from the bottom chamber to the top chamber, recycles back down through here. It's called a Klein seal. Basically, it allows you to add a lot more water. It makes it so that you have a constant circulation going, so you don't ever have a drag that feels real light. It's just a constant feel.
Okay.
And it has a wow factor that people really like. But I mean, they're getting crazy. Hydrodynamics and the diffusion process and the science behind it is a thing.
It's a great
Science.
time to be alive.
I know.
folks.
Thank God I don't need to know the science because just give it to me and let me use it.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
wow, I could tell you it.
Next time I have a shoulder injury.
Well, and that's the thing. You know,
Why come to our shop?
That's right.
I love having people like Grape come in. That's we go by our nicknames,
Gilbert.
and so
right.
we've got he goes by Grape.
Grape.
He says it
At
makes it
times.
easy to order at the bar.
That's right. That's right. Yo,
So,
Grape wants it.
Grape,
Yeah.
you know, Gilbert, like the grape. It works every time.
You know, to see people who know
Yeah.
their stuff.
Oh, my
You know, I'll walk into a shop and I'll ask a question and I'm like, I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what's the difference
hard.
between this and this? That one's pink and that one's blue.
Sometimes that's but it's weird. I mean, sometimes I don't want to say I make things up, but I have to think of something like what is really the difference, you know? And everyone asks what's the best. It's like, man, that's a personal thing.
Yeah,
Like
for
they're
sure.
all good. Science behind diffusion. Small bubbles means more surface area for smoke to touch water, which pulls more tar out and cools it off faster. Big bubbles, all the smoke in the center never touches water, never gets clean.
Interesting.
Basic science behind it. So small bubbles are great, but then you got people that don't like the small bubbles. That has a different feel to it. So it's personal preference. But some people don't like it that clean. You know, they want it a little dirty.
So if you
So
want it a little dirty, tell them. If you want it nice
Choke out
and
on it.
clean,
That's right.
just let them know.
Just let them know.
They will
If you want the
tailor
tar.
the experience
Every time.
Yeah.
to your preference. So a piece like that, what would that cost me?
This one is $1,000. I wanted to bring something fancy. I wanted
Yeah,
to show off a
exactly.
little bit. You know, again,
This one
I'll
is
pull it up so
$12.
y'all can see the beautiful.
That is,
No, it's.
yeah.
I mean, it's intricate.
yeah,
It's beautiful.
yeah. Sherlock meets Aladdin. It's nice.
Exactly. And if I had water in it, the function on it, it's crazy. It looks crazy. I mean, it's very scientific, scientific glass. Yeah, I mean, with the nicer pieces, we don't make that much money on them. We cut deals all the time. It's really more of a status thing, and
Okay.
people come in, they look at it, they dream about that cool piece, and then we hook them up with it, and it just keeps them interested in it. And,
Yeah.
and, you know, it brings people in, and it also, you know, shows like, okay, y'all got good artists. They walk in like, oh, your heady case looks nice. Y'all are a good shop.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
status. It's
Yeah.
you know, it's fun. Proto.
But I don't have to spend $1,000 if I want a nice setup.
no,
right?
no. Oh, not at all.
If I walked in and I wanted local,
Yeah.
but you know, I didn't want to spend $1,000. I wanted something nice, decent.
Proto,
What
which are great.
am I looking at?
At the moment, we have some $45 little tiny things. We've got some $70 ones, like actually small little tubes. And it goes up from there, but starts about $70, all American made. It's hard to find things less than that. We hunt for it because that's our bread and butter. We don't have China to surplus that like all the other shops who
No,
make
that's
a
great.
ton of money on that. So
That's great. I mean,
I get more excited about the $70 pieces and finding those and buying a ton of them because I'm like, I'm selling these all day. I don't have to push them. They sell themselves. It's great.
Well, listen, folks. Again, support your local businesses. Support artisans. You know, again, here's a shop. Two brothers. These guys own the shop. They're in there all the time. It's
Our
always
parents.
It's
Mom's in there 2 days a week.
really I haven't met
amazing.
Mom yet.
That's
As much
She's
as I've been in
morning
there.
usually. She'll open 2 days a week so we can actually take a day off.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's nice of her.
But
very, very nice.
family-run local shop who's committed to supporting their industry in an ethical way.
Yeah.
You know, it's more than just, you know, I think we've talked about ethical fashion.
Yeah.
But there's so many ways, you know, to support our economy, to support our local economy and our local artisans. And so I want to thank you for coming, first of all, but for your knowledge base. You and everybody in there, they know their shit.
Yeah.
That was what I saw lacking. It was I before I started the business, I read every single review on every single shop in town, and there was customer service, lack of knowledge, customer service, lack of knowledge, over and over and over, and it was like, and it's difficult. You can't, you know. there's word magic you got to play, and there's different things at hand, and there's so much to learn. Vaporizers change every 2 weeks. You know, you got to know all that stuff. The glass artists, they change all the time. So.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great shop. Stop in, support them. Know that your dollars are supporting local, American. Know that this business is run, family-run, local business. Support them in an ethical way, if that's your vibe.
That's right.
Only if you want to.
If that's not your vibe,
no problem.
and you're not into the CBD, that's entirely up to you.
That's right.
That could
But thanks for coming.
Yeah, that's right.
Cosmic Cowboy, what is the exact address?
2207 South Congress, 78704.
He's in the 04, baby.
You know.
Random AF. Thanks for watching, folks.
See ya.
There we go. Thanks, man.
Yeah, good work, man. That's awesome.